Hi everyone, we are starting another week. It will be lesson 7, and this week we're talking about time management. I think for everyone, trying to make sure we're using our time wisely and spending our time doing things that are important is something we're all working on. I know it's something that I feel like I'm continually trying to be better with. So I love this content this week. I just want to show you over to the Getting Started page again. We have the overview that shows us what we will be learning this week. So if you go to my preview and it's gonna spool. Okay, we'll talk about skills that you can use to manage your time in the time that we've had given to us, and then we'll learn the skill of summary. So taking an amount of information and trying to condense it down to what it's mostly about, summarizing a long article down to just the basics. And there's the schedule of everything that's due this week. One thing that I want to show you is a reminder, this questions and conversation tab is just a place for you to go to ask questions, and peers can see that. If you go on there and see a question asked that you know the answer to, you can answer it. But this is not the regular discussion board that you are supposed to post to for your discussion board points. But just know that that's there if you want to ask a question or see what questions others have come up with. What I want to show you is our application activity this week. One reminder is last week you set a goal, and so I want to remind you that this coming week, this whole week, you're going to be working towards that goal. At the end of this week, your learning report will ask how that goal went. So I like to remind you at the very beginning of this week so that you can be working on that and make sure that, so it doesn't get down to Saturday and you think, oh no, I forgot I set a goal I was supposed to work on all week. So I recommend you think about that all week so that you're prepared to answer those learning report questions. Okay, for this application activities, I'm going to take a lot of time to explain it because often there's confusion. So it talks about how we all have the same amount of time given to us. However, what we do with that time is up to us. Some things we can't decide, but some things we can. So this summarizes the things that we really spend a lot of our time doing. So if we spent 8 hours of sleep each night, you times that by 7 days, and that means 56 hours, 56 of my hours in a week are spent sleeping. 15 to 20 hours each week should be done working towards your assignments in this class. So you should be spending 15 to 20 of your hours working on your pathway assignments. 1.5 hours each week for your gathering. Some of you might have more or less depending on your travel time. About 3 hours of church meetings each week, and we know once again that some of you might have other weekday activities that you go to for church, or firesides, or even the travel to your church is not included, so yours might be more than 3 hours for church things. Once you add all of those up, it comes to 168 hours. Well, sorry, it doesn't come to, it comes to, you subtract these from the original 168 hours. So you start with 168 hours in a week, take away these hours, and that leaves you with 88 hours. So you have 88 hours to decide what you're going to do. So you have decisions to make. What am I going to do with that 88 hours? Some of you have jobs, so half of that's already taken away with your jobs. And you have other obligations. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do this week. We're going to use a time chart to track everything that you do for 48 hours. So you're going to track for 2 days what you do with your time. And I love this activity because it's always eye-opening for me to see written on paper or typed in your chart what I'm doing with my time. I'm going to show you how to fill out that chart, and I'm going to suggest that you do this earlier in the week. I always have students that fill it out Friday or Saturday and they say, I fill it out, but when I go to reflect on it, it's not very accurate because Fridays and Saturdays, maybe I do things that I don't regularly do during the week. So I suggest you do this on Monday and Tuesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, or Wednesday, Thursday, because the weekends kind of, our schedules are a little off and not truly accurate. I'm going to hide my screen for a second so you can just focus on what you're going to do. You download this template, so click on that, it will download, and you'll open it up. Okay, make sure you can see this. So you type in there, and this is where you will answer questions. It's just like all your other application activity templates. Answer questions about your chart. So asking, did you even use your chart? Because you get points whether or not you filled that out for 2 days. How many hours were you spending in each category? What are some insights you gained? Consider things that you need to adjust. And so you'll fill that out, but that comes, I'll come to that in a second, after you do your time chart. So I should do that first, sorry. Your time chart, this is what I want to explain. Okay, so hopefully you can see this. See here you have day 1, day 2. So you have different categories. I'll show you those. If I slide this away, you'll see those step 2. It lists the different categories. And after you keep track of your activities, you're then going to go plug in what category that activity falls under. Is it sleep? Was it study? Was it personal? So I'll kind of leave that open a little bit. So if I come here and say it's Tuesday morning, at midnight I'm sleeping, okay? And so I'm actually just going to copy and paste that all the way down until I do something different. So this is in 30-minute increments, so maybe you wake up at 6:30. So when I first wake up, maybe I exercise for an hour. Okay, so exercise again, because there's 2 half hours. Then maybe I do some scripture study for a half hour. And then I make and eat breakfast. So you're just going to type the activity in. And then maybe I need to get ready. Maybe I spend a half hour getting ready, and then I just get to work at 9 o'clock. I leave for work. I wish I left for work at 9 o'clock, but that would be great. So work, and you could include in that travel as well to work. Maybe I stay at work until 4 o'clock. Oh, sorry. So I would fill in all those boxes here. You can just copy and paste. So, my copy and paste. So once I've done that and I fill that all in, I do that for 2 days. So I think, what do I do after work? Oh, I don't know, maybe I did spend half an hour on Facebook. Just be honest. This is really just for you to reflect and see the reality of how your time is spent. So then I need to, it says step 2 is to assign the following categories to each activity. So here my category is going to be sleep. Oh, that's sleep. And you'll see here that scripture study, I would say that's maybe personal time. Make and eat breakfast, that's eat category. Get ready, that's probably personal. Some students have a question about leisure. I'd say maybe when I'm on Facebook, you could say that's leisure time. You kind of have some downtime. Or when you maybe I take a nap. Maybe Facebook makes me fall asleep and I take a nap, and that would be leisure. So I fill all this out, save it, and upload it. Let me just minimize that. I'll do that in just a second. As you'll see here, it has you fill all that out, and remember that you then add up the number of hours that you spend in each category. So I'll look at all my categories. How many hours did I spend sleeping, working, doing personal things? And then you're going to use that chart. And actually, I said you have to upload that. You actually upload just the template that as you look at the chart and use that chart to answer these questions. Okay? And so really this first question, did you use the time chart and track your activities? We're using your honesty to say yes or no. So you don't have to actually upload your chart, but do fill out and upload the template. Okay? So that's application activity. I hope that was clear and not too confusing. Give me send me an email with any questions that you have when you work on this assignment. And once again, do it early in the week. I promise it will save you some headache, and if things don't go well or you don't understand it, trying to contact me on the weekend is a little more difficult. The last thing I want to show you before I wrap up is my English tip for this week. So proper nouns are something that I continue, I guess I can put my screen back on. I continue to give in a lot of my feedback with your vocabulary quiz and your sentences that you're typing, or even in your application activity answers. Sometimes we're capitalizing words that don't need a capital letter. So we only capitalize the first word in a sentence. If you see all of these sentences, they all start with a capital I, A, W, I, L, L. The other things you have to capitalize are just a proper noun. So you might say, what is a proper noun? Well, there's common and proper. Common nouns are not specific. Like here, I want to be a writer. The writer is the noun. We don't know the name of the writer, just I want to be a writer. So we don't capitalize that. If my sentence has a specific name of a writer, okay, I would capitalize the name of that writer, okay? Same here. Would you like a cookie? I didn't have a name of a cookie. I just asked if you want a cookie. So it's just a lowercase c. But if I say the specific name of a cookie, like an Oreo, I would need to capitalize the O because that's a specific name. And nouns are names, or people, place, or things. So we've talked about people, places. A city is a place. But if I didn't specify what city, let's go to the city. It's just lowercase. Let's go to the town. Let's go into the village. Let's go on the farm. If I don't have a specific name of the place, it's just lowercase. But here, let's go to San Francisco. That's a city's name. I would capitalize the S and the F. Here's another person, my teacher. Okay, starts work before sunup. I'm not saying her name, just teachers, just lowercase. But if I have the name, Mr. Bell seems to understand what students need, it's capitalized. Let's see. He's always hanging out with his girlfriend. Girlfriend was just lowercase because even though it's a name of it's a noun, it's just a common noun. We didn't say the name, specific name. But if we say he never goes anywhere without Sarah, then we capitalize the specific name. I hope that clears up the confusion or questions about what a proper noun is, so that you know we only capitalize the first letter in the sentence and a proper noun. Once again, I'll just keep using the feedback that I give on your vocabulary quizzes or sentences that I see in your application activities are usually a guide for me to see what English tip I want to share that week. And let me know if there's something specific you want me to share in these videos. So I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will talk with you next week. Bye, everyone.